I mean, we've been fascinated with dreams for thousands of years, and now scientists seem to have found a way to tap directly into our brains. A study happened in Japan, and basically they had 3 volunteers and asked them to go to sleep inside an MRI scanner. And as the participants started to doze off and begin dreaming, they woke them up again and said, "What were you dreaming about?" And of course there was a wonderful assortment of things, you know, from bronze statues to ice picks to keys, things like that. But through doing this, they started to see a correlation between the patterns of brain activity and the images that the people were seeing. So the next round of experiments, they asked them to go to sleep again in the scanner. And this time round, simply by looking at the scans, they were able to reveal the images that the people were dreaming about. And they did it with surprising accuracy. 60% of the time they were able to say, you were dreaming about trees or a house or things like that, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, so how does it work then? Because they see images that come through the scanner, and how do they're actual pictures? I mean, how does it?
No, they can. So what they're looking at are their brain scans. So there are these kind of typical, quite beautiful looking MRI scans, and you can see where the brain's lighting up. And what they then do is kind of look at those scans and see where in the brain is kind of correlating with the different images that they've been talking about. And, you know, they did another part of the study where, while the participants were awake, they got them to actually look at the images, actually pictures of trees, things like that, so they could sort of say, oh, that bit of the brain ties in with, say, this particular image. I mean, it's quite clever, really. The hard bit is sort of finding the correlation between the two.
It's clever. It's also kind of scary, isn't it? It's one of those sort of looks to the future, I mean, in terms of where this could lead.
Yeah, I mean, it is quite sci-fi-like, really, isn't it? That someone can tap directly into your brain. And it does kind of conjure up this idea of dream-reading machines. Now, the thing is, this does take us a bit closer to having something like that. But they've only been able to look at the images that people are dreaming about. So it's not like, say, if you go to a psychoanalyst and, you know, they can, you reveal your dreams in their kind of full, vivid detail. So they can't see the emotions you're experiencing, the smells, the colours, the actions that are happening, things like that. And they're also looking at very light sleep. So the place where you have your kind of most vivid dreams is when you're deeply asleep, during your rapid eye movement. And so the next stage is to see if they can have brain scans which actually correlate with them. But, you know, it's interesting stuff.
Yeah, very interesting.